Hello friends, this is Growl. In this video, I'm reviewing a user-submitted 14 Necrotic Wake healed by a Resto Shaman. Keep in mind this isn't my gameplay, and the person was nice enough to submit it for us to watch, so don't be too hard on him. That's my job. I've been asked about coaching several times, and I wanted to help, but I also want to reach as many people as possible instead of just spending time with one person. I thought this method would be helpful to not just the person playing, but also anyone watching who's healing keys around this level or wants to be here eventually. I give the advice to record yourself and watch back gameplay, but I never specify what you should actually be looking for. This is mainly because, well, there's so much going on in WoW, as you'll soon see. Even I make tons of mistakes regularly, and watching the run back gives me a lens to see what's going on without worrying about actually being there. I recommend doing this yourself to improve, and if you have video submissions that you would like to submit, drop them in the Yumytv Discord in the Clips channel. Since this is a new type of video, I'd love to hear feedback as to what you guys think of the format. I did this live with chat. I felt I could get a little bit of feedback doing that. The downside is that it might be a bit longer than some of my other videos, so let me know down in the comments if you think the format is good or if you'd prefer the more condensed video. I'll cut to the review session now. Don't forget to like the video and subscribe to my channel for more. Happy keying. Alright, let's see what we got. 14 Necrotic Wake. Interested to see how the tank pulls. He has a very similar UI that I like. So let's... I'm glad to see I'm not the only one that gets quaked. So one thing I do on all these guys, these harvesters, is I put them on focus. I have a focus target, and a focus target kick on my mouse. Obviously you can just do it with keyboard too. This drain fluids cast is like super nasty. There's so many casters in this whole dungeon that I think using a focus target and getting used to focus target kick will be helpful to you. So another thing I'm noticing is he's using chain lightning on the big guy, which is okay, but almost always I prefer cryo damage on the higher health mob rather than chain lightning everything. Like spamming chain lightning will be slightly higher overall, but usually you just want to hit the highest health mob. So we kick the drain fluid, that's good. We're also using healing wave. I think it's fine to use healing wave. Sometimes these pulls can chain together and you will run low on mana. So I don't mind using healing wave, but the health bars are everyone's at 100%, and then the tank is at 90%. So here we should just be DPSing, I think. I would consider this a time where we don't need to do much. And again, I wouldn't consider this as a mistake, but it's just something to consider that we don't necessarily need to just be spamming heals into the tank the whole time. But it's not a bad thing to do, especially early in the run while we're getting a feel for the tank. But for example, there, our tank had shield wall up, so he was fine. Are you not meant to use healing wave? Generally, you should be using healing surge. Generally, we should be using healing surge. So we're using our riptides there, which is good. Got our primordial wave. Yeah, see how big our heals are. If our tank falls behind, we can catch him up. Like, if there's one thing that warrior is good at, is just sustaining physical hits. And you don't need to really worry about a warrior getting spiked down. Okay, so right here, we're going to go into a pride soon. We can't see it right here, but we're at 13% count, and this pull is going to be more than 6% or whatever. We're going to go into a pride here, and we're at 60% mana. So during this whole time here, I think I would have liked to see, like, heal the tank a couple times and then just sit and drink. You can, like, it seems like he's a little afraid to use Riptide, so in this situation you cast a heal and then he can't cast another heal because of Quake, but he can use a Riptide here. So even though someone has a Riptide on them, you can still use Riptide again to heal them. So again, I want to see start drinking. Like again, he's topping himself from 80% here, but he should just be drinking and getting mana. Because especially in a Pug Necrotic Wake, you never know what things are going to go. And again, so now we're going into this pull with 60% mana, which is plenty. And also we have our Mana Tide, right? We can press Mana Tide. I haven't looked at Cloudburst much, but it seems like he's using it here. We have 2 charges of Riptide, and we haven't Riptided the tank. I'd like to see Riptide on the tank. Our Shaman friend seems to be pretty good at using his kick, but again, I like to see focus target kicks here. And let's look at our Primordial Wave. So again, it looks like a theme here is we have a decent handle on healing, but just to weave in a little bit of DPS, right? We're at 0. I'm not saying you have to wave your big dick around and do a lot of DPS every pull, but at least throw a couple flame shocks on at the start, right? Like we were sitting on our Primordial Wave the whole time. If you, let's say you have Primordial Wave up and you don't need the Riptide, you can still throw the Primordial Wave out as a flame shock and then just use it for the buffed healing wave. But in Pugs, you have no set target. Can a mouse over be enough? Well, you can. So you might not have your assigned kick. Let's say you're not in comms, but you can still focus a guy and then keep it on your focus and know that you have to kick that guy. Like just any important cast. So again, we're okay. We're going into this Pride with 50% mana. Let's watch this Pride rotation. Okay, so we're sitting on charges of Riptide here. In general, on a Pride, the tank isn't going to be in much danger. I'm very much so prioritizing putting Riptides out on my team than spot healing the tank in this situation. Especially our DK who's standing in Sanguine. Okay, so our healing wave drops, our healing rain drops. If anything, I would say it seems like we're leaning a little bit too heavy into healing wave and not into our other abilities. Like, see how we use healing rain at the start of the Pride, but where did our healing rain go? Here was our first healing rain at the start of the Pride, but then we didn't maintain it. And we get stuck here where we're spending a little bit too much time casting healing wave. I like our Cloudburst. We get our first Cloudburst, we get our second one. This is a Primordial Wave buff, right? Big. See that juicy heal. Yeah, now we're going into Healing Surge mode. But we can be in Healing Surge mode from the start. Easy, not too shabby. So another thing is he hasn't used his Healing Tide once. Healing Tide isn't some very powerful button. Like, just press that whenever it's up. Healing Tide is great on Prideful. If you're fighting a Pride and you have Healing Tide up, just press it. Just press it anytime, even early on. Even if it just helps you DPS a little bit more. But again, right, 0. I'm not saying we need to be like going crazy with DPSing the Pride, but we can at least throw a flame shock on it at the start when there's not too much damage going out. Yeah, so I think a little bit too much healing wave, but also keep in mind that we've also been pretty defensively focused here. We haven't been doing a lot of damage, which is totally fine for pugging 14s, but if we're healing a lot, then yeah, he may run into more mana issues than normal. Okay, he remembered a Bloodlust, so he's already a better Shaman than me in this fight. Yeah, so, but he did totally fine here, right? And again, I don't mind this at all. I don't mind this at all. We have a boss, we have Pride, and we're doing damn. These guys are really good to use your defensive totems on. It looks like we're running Earth Grab here, which is fine, but it's not normally something I run. And we also have Cap Totem and Earthbind or Earth Grab or Earthbind that we can use. It seems like so far our Prot Warrior friend has been playing pretty well. I haven't been paying too much attention, but he's been cycling his defensives reasonably. He's been using his stuff. Using Shield Wall on the soldiers because he doesn't have shield block. I can respect this. I can respect this gameplay. This area is actually a nightmare for line of sight. You have to be really careful here. Okay, so right here, I'm very tempted to press an instant cast button. It looks like our tank is struggling. I'm very, very tempted to press either Ascendance or Link. We haven't pressed either of those buttons in the dungeon yet, and we're already 7 minutes in. I'm very tempted to press one of those buttons right now watching this. Good. These soldiers are just going ham. How are these guys so powerful? Again, Primordial Wave is so good. It looks like, in general, I would say, just from watching, he's a bit too timid on his cooldown usage. Like, so far we've used... I don't remember if we used an Ascendance yet, but that was our first SLT. We barely used our Primordial Wave. We haven't used our Healing Tide. We haven't used our Ascendance. Like, just press a button. Just press one of the buttons. Don't be scared. Like, think about it like this. As a Shaman, you can cycle one of those buttons every single time. You can go into a pull and use Ascendance, then on the next one use Healing Tide, then on the next one use SLT. Every single one, just keep going, because eventually you're going to get to a point where the pulls are very scary. Like right now, you don't want to get to the point where your tank is at 10% health and the pull's almost dead, and you're worried about, oh, do I press Ascendance now? Okay, we went into our bags to eat food. I think we should keybind that, or at least put it on our bar so we can right-click it. But sometimes you like switch with mage food or whatever. Okay, let's see. We forgot the bags. This tank seems to... Oh, no. What's this one bag doing? Okay, so this is a pack where I think he... In general, I wouldn't be pressing Chain Lightning very much. If you have Flame Shock and Lava Burst available, don't press Chain Lightning. I respect the want to do damage, but... Okay, what happened here? Let's look at what happened here. Our poor guy... I've been flaming him for not doing DPS, and he tries to DPS for 1 second, and his DK dies. Does anyone even know what happened to the DK here? Chat. Oh, the little circle thing. That's right. Unlucky. So this is one thing that you'll notice very much. This isn't a Shaman problem, but this is something I see from lower level groups a lot. Okay, watch these two guys. Okay, you don't want to, like, you want to be able to evenly cleave mobs all of the time to, like, kill them at the same time. You know, you don't want to just focus down one mob at a time. This isn't PvP. So you want to get maximum damage and maximum value from your DPS, and everyone's just hitting the Sorcerer right now instead of hitting the Bone Carver. And the Bone Carver is actually the more dangerous mob, right? I think people are hitting the Sorcerer because the Sorcerer is the caster and they have to kick it, but the Bone Carver is actually the dangerous mob, and they lose precious time by hitting the mobs one at a time instead of cleaving them evenly. As a DPS player in general, it's a very good habit to constantly be evenly cleaving mobs down. Just because it's not bolstering or it's not sanguine or whatever doesn't mean that you shouldn't do that. So this guy gives a bleed, this Flayer guy. And notice our healer has been pretty defensively focused, but now our tank has a bleed. He's at 60% health. And we're not topping him. This is a part where the tank needs to be topped, and we're just kind of walking around. I think the healer thought that we were going to go into that Goliath and get the buff, so that's probably why he was waiting. But again, right, we should have focused this mage at the start of the pull. This is a mob where it doesn't matter if you're in an organized group, a pug group, anything. When you walk into this pull, you should focus target the mage to get the volley. Yeah, I haven't been watching his Cloudburst a whole lot. It seems like he's pressing it a decent amount. Okay, let's watch his Prideful rotation. Well, unlucky. Tunneling a little bit on health bars, but that's okay. Happens to all of us. So he has not pressed a Cloudburst here. You need to press Cloudburst. Cloudburst is so important on Pride. We've been in combat for like 10 or 15 seconds with no Cloudburst. No, see, there we go. Now we press our Cloudburst. I'd like to see Healing Rain here too. And especially this is a point where there's absolutely no reason to be pressing Healing Waves. We should just be spamming Healing Surge because we have 50% mana. Like, as soon as this Pride dies, we have infinite mana, right? So we can dump all of our mana into this guy no matter what. There's no reason to be using Healing Wave on this guy. But as we get more comfortable with mana, yeah, this is a situation that gets hard, but we're fine. But that late Cloudburst and the no healing surges, that'll punish you as you do higher keys. You'll get away with it in a 14 pride, but as you keep moving up, it will challenge your HPS throughput. Okay, so this buff that you get when you pick up this Goliath and it says buffed, it pulses damage around you. You want to go stand in the mobs. See how it's like his guy is flashing? He's actually missing out on damage by going in those mobs. He grabs the orb, which I kind of like because it's a pug. You probably want to be in control of that stuff. But yeah, you want to stand in the mobs with this buff because it's free damage. We're not pressing Cloudburst. When you run Swirling Currents, which you should if you're a Shaman in World of Warcraft, you should just be pressing Cloudburst on cooldown because it's buffing all your single target heals. Also, okay, so be careful here. Remember what I said about the pulsing damage? You can also break out of stealth and hit these guys and hurt yourself. So keep that in mind that when you're doing this invis skip, or if you're shrouding or skipping or whatever, you may want to actually right click this buff off of you so that you don't do that. You can get by it if you can, like if you pay attention to it, but that's something that you should be careful with. He throws down a healing rain on 2 guys. I don't hate it. I think it's probably not optimal. Earth Shield, my dude. Earth Shield. Oh, what is this DK has a problem. This DK has a problem with Shadowwell. This seems like a perfect pug 14 Necrotic Wake. I really like this video. Thank you to whoever submitted this. Sorry if I'm ripping apart too much, but I really appreciate this. The quality's great. Your UI's good. A great example of a key. Luckily, he doesn't release, which is very good. And again, right, this is another example of we're not even cleaving these mobs when we should be, and we end up having to single target down. Like, especially for a Shaman, you get a lot more. Oh, he didn't trust the Quaking, Wikora. He didn't trust the Quake. He wanted to let it run. So this will take practice again, but it's all just about efficiency and getting used to your character. So here he is walking up, right? While he's walking up, he easily could have flame shocked both of these guys, right? He can flame shock one and primordial wave the other just to get the flame shock on, but he's like sort of walking up. You see what I'm saying? Like, as you get more comfortable with your character, you'll get more efficient with movement, but this is easily could have been 2 flame shocks at the cost of nothing. Maybe you were tabbed out, or maybe you were eating some pizza or something when you were walking up there, but like you were in range of these 2 mobs and you didn't cast spells that you could have casted. Even like you weren't even healing the tank, right? Okay, this bleed hurts, by the way. When you see 3 stacks, get ready. Also, one thing. Oh, holy. Yeah, I'd be tempted to link here. I would be tempted to link here for our poor tank. He pops shield wall. That's okay, too. Again, no Cloudburst, right? So this happens a lot as Shaman. You have to be careful not to get into this situation. So here he is. His tank's getting owned, and he feels the need to keep spamming Healing Surge, but what's happening? He doesn't have a Cloudburst up. He's falling behind on his Riptide. You don't see it yet, but so now he has no tidal waves and he could be using a Riptide here. So he's starting to fall behind in his like rotation. If you ever feel like, okay, I'm starting to fall behind and I feel the need to press Healing Surge over and over again or we die, look at your cooldowns, right? We have SLT, we have Ascendance. Have we used Ascendance one time yet this dungeon? Like, don't be afraid of just popping Ascendance just to like heal. Like, just think about it like, you know, it's tempting to always want to save it, but don't think of Ascendance as like some crazy emergency thing, right? Try and get good value out of it. Try and keep pressing it because you're gonna need to eventually. The higher the keys go, you like this guy's just dead to this bleed in a 17 if you don't pop Ascendance or Link here. Like, he's just dead immediately. There's no all this time to react and surge him. So just keep that in mind. Don't be afraid to pop cooldowns. And I see this a lot when I watch people. And again, right, we're using heal, or no, I think that was a primordial wave. That was a primordial wave. Okay, so we're using healing surge again, right? Pop healing tide again. We have all of our cooldowns. Healing tide, spirit link, ascendance. We have all these buttons. We can use them. Don't be scared. It's tempting to save it for the boss. I get that, but there we go. There we go. There's an ascendance. There's a little bit of hesitation in between casts too, and this will happen, but like ascendance, riptide, see that? See this little like jump? This will kill you. This will kill you when there's a pride with a lot of stacks. See that how he cancels his healing wave to move? This will kill you. But we lived, we're fine. Yeah, so we're getting not we're just getting not enough use on primordial wave. Like this is a pull where we have to press primordial wave here. We have to press primordial wave. Look at how much group damage we're taking. We don't have a cloud burst up. See, we're falling behind here because we didn't plan ahead of time. So let's put everything together here, okay? As we're walking in, we focus target the mage, then we press cloudburst, just walking in, right? There we go. We kick the volley, and now we have a cloudburst rolling, and now we can use something, but instead look at how behind we are. The frostbolt volley gets off, we don't have a cloudburst, and now we have so many buttons that we want to press right now, but we can't do it. We want to press Cloudburst, we want to press Riptide, we want to press Primordial Wave, we want to press Healing Rain, but some of those buttons we could have pressed earlier. And also, as someone in the chat said too, right, he could have used Cap Totem there to help reduce the damage. There was a lot of buttons that we could have pressed there. And we get a little bit panicked. At this point, I'm very tempted to just link. At this point, when I'm looking at this right here, I'm thinking if this volley gets off, we're dead. And in a coordinated group, I'm willing to make that risk, but in a pug, I'm instantly linking here every time. I'm not letting the frost, like, I'm not risking this bolt volley getting off for my team wiping. And somehow we actually live, or maybe we don't live, I don't know. But again, right, we just went through that whole dangerous pull. We were at 6k HPS and we didn't press Cloudburst one time. We need to press Cloudburst there. We needed to press Primordial Wave. Our Earth Shield went down. It's all about proactive, you know. And it comes with experience, too. There's nothing wrong with not fully understanding all the damage that's coming out, but that's a dangerous pack. Why is this pack dangerous? Why is this pack dangerous? You guys might say, oh, Growl, it's because of this. It's because of the mages. It's because of the mages. My monkey teammates don't kick. This is why this pack is dangerous, is because of these crossbowmen. This whole time, these two bowmen are just shooting down random party members. Look at him. You see him. Look at him getting bowed down here. You see this? This is why his health is low. His health is low not because of the frostbolt volley. It's because of this bowman, but this bowman spared him. This bowman decided at 1 health he's gonna switch targets and shoot over here. But this bowman could have eliminated him right here. If this was a bow shot on either one of these two guys, he was dead. Okay, let's see. We got flame shock up. Okay, let's get the mage. Let's get the mage. And okay. All right. I would be very tempted to kick there. Okay, yeah. These mages, as a healer in pugs, having a kick is like a godsend. You have to be ready to find those mages and kick them. They were good in dragging the boss over there, but you have to kick those mages. Super important. No lust? Yeah, I would definitely lust this boss. Let's see if they remember it. Let's see if they realize to lust. This can be a really challenging boss. So if you don't understand how this boss works, by the way, whoops. If you're not familiar with this boss, it does no damage, and then as soon as the first ads get sucked, then it starts doing infinite damage for the rest of the fight. We pressed Healing Tide there. I'm happy with that. We got Cloudburst rolling another. So right here, it's tempting to be spamming healing surges, but nice. We throw down our Cloudburst right away. Just, it looks okay. So to me, it looks like he's not comfortable with using, I just feel like there isn't nearly enough Primordial Wave usage here. So watch this. So he uses his Riptide charge, right? He recognizes here that he needs to move, and his only move is to Riptide, and then he needs to Primordial Wave is just another Riptide. He can be using Primordial Wave on himself or anyone else, and then done a fat healing wave here, but he's moving. And again, yeah, and as a bunch of people pointed out, right, Spirit Walkers. We haven't talked about Spirit Walkers hardly at all, but I don't know if there's been one Spirit Walkers you see. This is a hard game. Think about how many buttons. Think about how many buttons he's pressing, and then think about how many buttons he's not pressing. This is a hard game. This isn't easy. Don't be too hard on the guy or hard on yourself when mistakes happen. I like this Ascendance timing. Please Primordial Wave, please, man. I need to see Primordial Wave. You aligned with the Necrolord Covenant for a reason. Health potion. Oh no. Or no, wait, never. I keep thinking the guy at the bottom of the frame is him because that's how my frames are. Primordial Wave, Primordial Wave, Primordial Wave. Don't overthink it. Just press it. If it's up, press it. It's so good. But we're still not doing too bad. We're still making decent time. Again, okay, so here we are. What happened? This is a trap that I fall into a lot, okay? So I land, I realize that my tank needs to be top, and I start healing him, but he doesn't care and he starts running in, and I end up at 40% mana. Going into a room like this, that can be really dangerous. This is a situation where you just have to train yourself to stop as soon as you go up and just drink. If the warrior wants to run in with 60% health and no hots, that's fine. But if you have, like, if the warrior runs in with 60% health and you have 40% mana, you just have to drink up to at least like 60 or 70% and let him run in. And who knows, like, he might be fine, right? I'm not saying it's his fault. I'm just saying, like, he's in charge of his own life here. And it might be scary to do. Oh no, this cleaver. I don't know if we aim the cleaver towards the creation, but we definitely need to do that. So this is a situation where so right away here, I'm thinking, okay, I need to be mana careful mode because I ended up with low mana and we're in this room that's very dangerous. So what do I do when I'm mana careful mode? First of all, I'm not casting Healing Surge on myself when I'm at 70% health. Save that mana. Just let the Riptide tick up. Let the Cloud Burst go off, right? Another thing is I'm pressing my Mana Tide. We haven't pressed Mana Tide yet because we haven't had mana problems. But we need to be pressing Mana Tide here when we're sitting at 25%. Okay. What do you do, chat? What do we do? I'll let chat answer this one. What do we do in this situation? The patrol just ran in. We have low mana. What do we do? Cap totem. I like that answer. I also would have accepted straight link too. Earth Ellie, cap. I love all those answers. All those answers were good except for Hearthstone. Whoever said Hearthstone, that was not a good answer. Link, I like Link too. I'm tempted to Link here. My first instinct was to Link, not cap. But we'll see. We'll see what happens here. These spare parts hurt. That's why cap is really good, because you just stun all of them. We're getting hurt bad. But we're okay. We're okay. We make it through. We live with neither of them. His answer was Healing Surge, and we live with neither of them. Again, right, we're at 9% mana. We need to press Mana Tide Totem. I know it isn't much. We're at 2% mana, and we haven't pressed Mana Tide Totem. Okay, do we have it keybound? Okay, Alt W. We're looking for something. Okay, so this is part of the reason why his mana is low, is because he doesn't have his drinks bound to a key or on his bar. Come on, this isn't real life. We don't need to RP. You don't need to keep your food in your bags. You can put it on your bar and bind it, or just put it down here and click it. This, see this, what he's doing here? This is exactly what he needed to do on the last pull. And he made it out fine, but see, then the tank's fine. There's, you know, there's no worries here. Earth Shield. So, all right, let's rewind a little bit. So let's talk about identifying who's in danger. And again, this comes with experience, so don't stress it out if you don't do this all the time. But it's important to think who's in danger of this pull. Okay, so we're on the right now. The tank is the highest priority by far, right? I'm not saying the tank is going to die, but no one else is really that scary, right? And we don't have Earth Shield up, so we should not be topping our Selv or our Shaman at 70% health. I feel like watching this, sometimes we're playing a little bit of whack-a-mole, and every time the health bars go down, we just push it up instead of worrying about where the damage is coming from or what priority we should do stuff. So here, we still don't have our Earth Shield up, right? We still don't have our Earth Shield. Well, look at this. We were using healing weight. I don't mean to do this to be mean, right? But look at this. We're using healing wave on the hunter who's at 86% health instead of using flame shock, instead of reapplying our Earth Shield, instead of like doing anything else, right? So just keep that in mind, that try and think more about the priority of your abilities and what good abilities you can use, and not just about topping people right away. There we go. There's the Riptide. There's the Earth Shield. I would have liked to see a Cloud Burst there too. Okay, here's the Pride. Let's watch our Pride rotation again. Okay, Healing Rain. Watch the lines. Okay, good. Okay, we're putting Riptide on everyone. Renew the Healing Rain. Renew the Healing Rain. It looks like he puts down the first Healing Rain at the start of the Pride and then forgets to put it up again. Just keep putting up that Healing Rain over and over. If you can, like, Healing Rain is not often very good, but if you can get 5 people in Healing Rain, and look, is this you guys? I hear you guys complaining about your team not standing in the Healing Rain all the time. Is this you guys? My team doesn't stand in Healing Rain, and you press Healing Rain one time, and then you just don't press it again for the rest of the Pride. This looks like you guys. When you guys complain that your team doesn't stand in Healing Rain. You gotta at least put the healing... What is it? What is the phrase? Build it and they will come. Just put the Healing Rain down and hope that your team gets in here. Okay, we're Cloud Bursting. We have the Collector. We have the Collector targeted. So one thing I noticed, I haven't talked about this at all this run so far, but we're not using mouse over macros for our teammates. I don't think mouse over macros are mandatory, but I would highly recommend them. And especially the things that we were talking about applying flame shocks, about focus targeting mobs and kicking mobs. All those things get a lot easier when you don't need to select your teammates. Look at this. We got flame. Oh, look at this. We got flame shocks out. I like what I'm seeing here. Is it worth using Cloud Burst when only the tank is taking damage? I'll let the chat answer that one. What does the chat think? Is it worth using Cloud Burst if only the tank is taking damage? Absolutely. Because two things, right? Number one, you get Swirling Currents and you get a little bit of extra tank healing, right? Number two, sometimes it goes from just the tank taking damage to your whole team is getting rained down fiery death upon them, and you wish you would have had a Cloud Burst rolling. Sometimes that happens too. And there's never a downside to having a Cloud Burst down. Ooh, unlucky. Sometimes I don't trust the weak aura either. Okay, pro tip for quaking, if you guys didn't know this, Ascendance is actually it's a different school of magic than all of your other healing. So if you get quaked in an emergency, you can press Ascendance as a heal. So just keep that in mind. He couldn't have done it there. Yeah, Primordial Wave is 2. Good point. Primordial Wave is 2. Good point. So remember that. And granted, Quaking Week is going away quick. Would you Mana Totem just to get it on cooldown? Yeah, absolutely. If I'm ever in a pull and I'm at less than, you know, 80% mana, then I'm using Mana Tide every time. And I also notice he's not using any buffs on right now. No mana or no weapon oil, no food buff, no flask. I'm not saying you always have to use consumables, but it's certainly a good thing to do in keys. Certainly a good thing to do in keys. Look, get it out of your bags, dude. Get it out of your bags. Just drag it onto a bar somewhere. He's wanted. He has a nice looking UI on one bar, but he's gonna have to add another bar soon. All right, so I'm not gonna go too far in. I feel like we've learned a lot from this. There's not, you know, we've already have so much to unpack about what things we can do to improve. But I think if I had to summarize, well, I'll just leave it playing. If I had to summarize one thing that I see going wrong a lot, it's just not utilizing everything in your toolkit. Remembering to press Ascendance, remembering to press Link, remembering to use Primordial Wave, Cap Totem, all that stuff, right? So how do we learn? How do we get better? Well, nice, we press Mana Tide. We hit 2% mana, so we press Mana Tide. I respect it. But how do we get better then? I think the best way, in my opinion, is one step at a time. So the most important ability that I think he's missing out here is Primordial Wave. So what I would say is, in these next keys that our friend does, he should make it a goal to press Primordial Wave a shit ton. Keep doing all the stuff that he's doing normally, but press Primordial Wave a shit ton all the time. Anytime it's up, and keep doing that key after key until Primordial Wave has become a habit. And then once you do that, then move on to another spell, right? Then after we look at Primordial Wave, then worry about Focus Target and Focus Target Kick. Then worry about Capacitor Totem. Then worry about using Ascendance. Ascendance and Link are a little bit hard to talk about using well. Oh man, we're in trouble here. Healing Tide. Ascendance. Oh man, the stun. It's okay, we didn't have any mana anyway. We can't heal. Well, this is scary. This is scary. Oh, Link! Oh no! We living. We living. Easy. We did it. Yeah, so I would say a little bit too much playing whack-a-mole, looking at the health bars and trying to push the health bars up, and a little bit less, or a little bit too little of using important cooldowns. So just take it one step at a time. One cooldown at a time until you've integrated into your game. But our friend has hope. Our friend has hope. And I know what a lot of you guys are thinking. To end the video review, I know a lot of you guys are thinking right now. Oh my god, I'm so much better than this. I never make any mistakes like this. I'm so much better of a player than this guy. The advice that I always give is to record yourself and watch back, because you're probably a lot worse than you think you are. I promise. And the reason that I'm comfortable calling all you guys bad all the time and saying that all you guys make mistakes is because I'm bad and I make mistakes all the time. And I know that this is why I recommend watching back, because it might feel like you do a key like this and then you're like, oh man, I'm owning, or we had all these like scary situations that we got through, but it's like, man, there's actually so much better we could have done. Here, let's fast forward. Let's see how much. Let's see. What do you guys think? Did he get loot or did he get 35 anime? What do you guys think he got from this? Gold only? Oh man, we're running out of room here. What is going on? Oh, is this full panic mode, dude? What is going on with our team? We're all just boxed into the corner. Shadowlands Keystone Conqueror. Congrats, friend. Wait, what is that achievement? What is Keystone Conqueror? Item upgraded? What the hell? Indestructible? All 10s? Oh, hell yeah.